Hello and welcome to this week's Neumann Update. I'm Alexis Lomax. Many people around the world are speaking up and calling for change following all the criticism the Asian community has faced since the pandemic. Published Tuesday by Stop AAPI Hate, that is, hatred towards Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, their latest research report have revealed that nearly 3,800 incidents have been reported within the past year. As the data focused in on incidents that occurred between March 19, 2020 and February 28 of 2021, the report showed that 503 incidents took place in 2021 alone, and that women had a higher percentage in incidents than males, with 68%. That's outrageous. What has brought this report to light stemmed from a gunman that shot and killed 8 people at 3 different massage parlors Tuesday night in the Atlanta area. 4 of the victims have been identified as being of Asian descent. Cherokee County Sheriff's Captain Jay Baker alerted during the press conference that followed Tuesday night's incident that Robert Aaron Long, 21, was arrested and confessed to the attack. While in custody, Long stated that the attack was not racially motivated, but confessed to having a sex addiction and saw the spas as a temptation that needed to be dealt with. President Biden spoke directly with Attorney General and the FBI Director Wednesday. White House Speaker Jen Psaki said, "I think there's no question that some of the damaging rhetoric that we saw during the prior administration, calling COVID the Wuhan virus or other things, led to the perception of the Asian American community that are inaccurate, unfair, and that has elevated threats. As the motive to the shooting is still being determined, whether it was because of race or not, the Asian community is still on edge and fearful as they've dealt with a year of adversity." Yesterday and today, the Neumann University community celebrates Charter/Sponsorship Day in honor of Neumann's founding. Yesterday was kicked off with our annual Day of Giving event. From that, the university has successfully raised $46,646 from 134 donors that will be placed towards the success of our students. Students and faculty also had the pleasure in attending the Rocco A. and Mary F. Absinio Endowed Lecture in Management and Entrepreneurship with guest speaker Manjit Minhas. For those who attended the lecture with Minhas, like myself, found it to be inspiring and motivating as she reflected on what it's been like as an entrepreneur, sharing with the attendees the power of being a fly on the wall at some times, mentorship, negotiation, courage, and confidence. Later tonight at 7 p.m., the annual Alumni Association Awards will take place. Congratulations to all awardees. Now let's check in with Rhea with the latest sports update.
There was lots of action on the field this week for Neumann Athletics as the men's lacrosse team dropped an overtime thriller after the Montclair State Redhawks took full advantage of their first attacking possession in overtime on Wednesday, scoring the game winner with just 58 seconds left in the second half. After a hard-fought battle, the Knights fell to a 13-12 outcome. The women's lacrosse team were victorious in their season opener against Chestnut Hill with a final score of 13-7. The men's baseball team opened their 2021 campaign with a whopping 18-1 win over the University of Valley Forge Tuesday afternoon, as the women's softball team swept the Penn State Abington Lions off of their feet last Saturday with a shutout win 8-0. The women's soccer team lost their battle to St. Mary's in Maryland on Wednesday with a final score of 3-0. Field hockey celebrated their seniors under the lights on home turf last night, but could not come away with the win, losing 10-0 to the St. Mary's Seahawks. Here's to kicking off some more season openers this weekend as the women's volleyball team gets into action tonight against Immaculata University at 6:30 p.m. The men's volleyball team will follow suit tomorrow with their season opener as they face Wilson College for an afternoon contest at 1 p.m. Don't forget to follow along and watch all of the action live from the Neumann Athletics website. The Sixers slowed their roll and are now tied with the Brooklyn Nets for first place in the East Division after suffering a tight loss against the Milwaukee Bucks Wednesday night after they gave up the lead in the fourth quarter. Korkmaz's game-tying three-pointer pushed for an overtime battle with only 4 seconds left to go in the fourth. However, they just couldn't find the right stuff to pull out the win and fuel their streak. The final score turned out to be 109-104. Tobias Harris had 19 points on 8 for 23 shooting and 9 rebounds, while Ben Simmons posted a triple-double with 13 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. Sixers shooting guard Seth Curry has now been added to the injury list with a sprained ankle after exiting the game in the fourth quarter. The team looks to conclude the 4-game homestand Saturday night against the Sacramento Kings. After an off day yesterday, the Phils get back to it tonight against the New York Yankees, with just 11 games to be played in Florida before the home opener. The center field position is still yet to be claimed, and the competition is deeper than ever. All 3 contenders for the position, Kingery, Herrera, and Quinn, have an intense 2 weeks ahead of them. Coach Joe Girardi has not stated who the front runner may be to fill the position. However, performance in spring training thus far would suggest that Roman, Quinn, and Odubel Herrera are neck and neck for the roster spot. That would leave Scott Kingery with some options, either taking a step back and returning to the minors to work on his swing adjustments, or potentially filling the void for Brad Miller, who is out with an oblique strain and may not be ready for opening day. Only time will tell for this center field race as we creep closer to the April 1st opener at Citizens Bank Park. What might it take for the Eagles to trade Zach Ertz? The Eagles tried to get an extension done with the tight end during the 2019 season and then again last offseason. Now they have just recently stated they are allowing Ertz to seek a trade if it is desired. Just before the 2020 season, Ertz questioned the organization's commitment to him and followed with his worst statistical season of his career. In result, his trade value took a downward spiral, making his situation a little bit tricky. It has been floated in reports that the Eagles would be willing to bring Ertz back in 2021 if a trade can't be completed. General Manager Howie Roseman since stated Zach's been an integral part of the success we've had since we drafted him. For us to trade any player, it's got to make sense for both sides. It's got to make sense for the Philadelphia Eagles, too. We'll see if the Eagles can continue to make sense of their choices before the 2021 season kicks off. The Philadelphia Flyers came away with a redemptive victory last night against the first-place New York Islanders. Oscar Lindblom stole the show with 2 huge goals, kicking off the lead in the second and wrapping up the game winner in the third for the Orange and Black. The team is set to take on the Islanders again for a round 2 rivalry, 7 o'clock in New York, as they continue the tight battle for a playoff spot in the East Division. Now we take it over to James for what he has in store this week on Shock Factor.
Thanks, Rhea. Quick, this is an emergency. I need your help. You need to come over right now. That's what a panicked young boy told 911 operators fighting for his life after his mother changed the password to his Xbox. Regional police were sent to the home, realizing that it was not in fact an emergency, but had some fun tweeting about the situation, saying, quote, "Never we thought we'd have to say this, but here we are. Mom changing your Xbox password is not a reason to call 911. Yes, this happened, along with a gif of Daryl and Jim Halper playing Xbox. In a statement, police also noted that it could cost you anywhere from $100 to $5,000 in fees for inappropriate calls. Needless to say, I don't think this boy will be having his Xbox privileges anytime soon." Well, being in the pandemic brings out the kid in everyone. 20-year-old Declan Evans just broke arguably the most well-respected Guinness World Record on the planet. When the lockdown started, Evans made it his life goal to become a Guinness World Record holder, pursuing countless records that the organization set, but had never been attempted before. When he caught his eye on a Capri Sun, he knew this was his time to shine. In order to set the record, he needed to beat the minimum time of 18 seconds to drink a Capri Sun. After countless attempts, he pulled off his record, setting the high score of 16.65 seconds. Wow, it's impressive. On the feed, he says, "It is a stupid record to hold, but that is the fun of the Guinness World Records. I think it will definitely get beaten. I wouldn't say that it was fast, but it's a silly record that anyone can try. I'm proud to have it, and it's still a world record." Once I achieved it, it was quite rewarding, and I want to try more records in the future. How fast can you drink a Capri Sun? If you think that you can beat him, you need to buy an unmodified 200 milliliter Capri Sun pouch and document yourself consuming it using the straw, which must begin the challenge still inside the plastic film and still glued to the side. Declan Evans hopes to hold at least 4 more records to his name and is currently working on a record titled Fastest Time Running a Mile While Carrying Someone on a Stretcher and Fastest Time Swimming Across the River Humber in the UK. Well, a Southwest worker in Little Rock, Arkansas went to infinity and beyond to help a young boy be reunited with his Buzz Lightyear toy. It all started when the little boy Hayden forgot the toy on a plane in Dallas, and when the family didn't realize he was missing until they boarded the rental car with the plane already on to its next destination. That's when a kind staff member named Jason realized that the toy had been left behind, and he made it his mission to get the toy back to the boy safely. He did some investigating and noticed that, just like Andy in the movies, Hagen's name was written on the bottom of Buzz's shoe. With the help of fellow staff members, he learned that there was only one Hagen on the flight and mailed the toy back to his family, enclosed with a hand-decorated box, pictures of his mission back home, and a letter to the boy. The note reads, "To Commander Hayden, I'm very excited to return to you upon completing my mission. I was able to explore the airport and spaceport in Little Rocks while I was away and included pictures of my adventure. The journey has taught me a lot, but I'm so thankful to return to my buddy." Take a look at Hayden's reaction after opening this surprise.
What's in the box?
What's in the box, bud?
Go ahead, open it.
What do you think it is?
Open it.
Remember the airplane trip to Texas? Yeah, remember when you left your buddy on there? Where'd you leave?
What is it? Get it.
What is it, bud?
What is it? You want to read this one? Look. Ooh. To Commander Hayden, I'm very excited to return to you upon completing my mission. I was able to explore the airport and spaceport in Little Rock, Arkansas while I was away, and I have included photos of my adventure. My journey has taught me a lot, but I'm so thankful to return to my body, to infinity and beyond. Your buddy, Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, bud. Who's in there? Get him out. Hurry, hurry. Get him out. He's excited to see you. Oh, what is it, bud?
Who is it?
Who is it?
Who is it? Who is it? Is it Buzz?
Wow, what a great reaction. Hagen's parents were at a loss of words of the kindness and compassion shown by the workers, saying, quote, "I've just been bawling my eyes out with the feels and all the love." At this day and age where we're kind of right now at our nation, it's really amazing to know that there are still people out there who do good.
Say thank you.
Say thank you, Jason, so much for finding my buddy.
Jason. Say thank you, Southwest.
Well, what will have Office fans around the world rejoice in unison? Here's the story only on Tech Talk. Identity theft is not a joke. It affects many families every year. But this next story is not a joke. NBC's new streaming service Peacock is making every single episode of The Office ad-free on their service for anyone to watch this week only in celebration of the show's 16th anniversary. The Office has streamed exclusively on Peacock since January 1st after leaving Netflix, where it was one of the most watched shows on any streaming service. I don't know about you at home, but I'm more excited than Stanley on Pretzel Day to relive all the memories of this ageless classic all over again. Oh, man. Now let's head over to Alexa Henry with this week's entertainment news.
On today's news, Demi Lovato has a new documentary called Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil. This documentary is about her life and how she overcame the things that she did to become a successful songwriter and singer. She also talks about her overdose from the use of drugs in 2018. Michael D. Radner directed the 4-past series about Demi Lovato. The series covers leads up to the months to her fateful night, her overdose, and what transpired her Lovato opened up her addiction to cocaine, alcohol, and Xanax, and her struggles with exhaustion, mental illness, and eating disorders. She had an interview with CNN, and Ratner said when he and Lovato began discussing her experiences, she was all ready to come forward with what actually happened after months of misleading headlines and misinformation in the news. Ratner is saying that there was a lot of misinformation out there, and this was her opportunity, in her own words, with her family, friends, and those that lived to tell the truth. Ratner had previously collaborated with Lovato on a music video, and Lovato gained his trust by listening to her. Ratner has said a lot about Lovato and what he thinks of her as a person. Here are some of the quotes he had said about her. "You need somebody that you go to comfort and have people you trust that have your best interests. Outside of provoking a dialogue on these things and taking some of the stigma out of it, our hope is that people don't live with these thoughts in their head in isolation and instead realize that it's totally fine to speak about it, and they should." Another quote he said, "This is a human documentary, not a music documentary." Ratner said she's human and she's not claiming to be anything that she isn't. This is what Demi Lovato had to say about herself. "This is where I am today. I'm working on myself every day. I'm imperfect. I'm doing my best. I am facing my struggles and my demons." This is what Ratner had to say about this. "You know, she's a human being, and I think that the goal again, what she's preaching is that everybody's journey is unique." Lovato's Four Paths series documentary will be coming out on March 23rd, 2021. Just recently, Billie Eilish had a documentary movie about her own called Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry. This was released on February 26, 2021 on Apple TV+. Her documentary was about her as a singer and a songwriter, and it also tells the true coming-of-age story about the 19-year-old star. Eilish gained huge popularity after she released track Ocean Eyes, written by her brother Phoenix O'Connell, to SoundCloud in 2015. She shot a global fame at the age of 17 when her track Bad Guy from the debut album was #1 in several countries around the world. She made history at the Grammy Awards this year, becoming the youngest solo performer ever to win the Album of the Year. The singer swept 4 of the top categories at the awards, including Best New Artist, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year. This documentary was created by the award-winning filmmaker R.J. Cutler. The documentary will offer a deeply intimate look at the Eilish as it navigates life on the road and stage, as well as her family life, while recording and writing about her debut album. The documentary film will also feature Eilish's brother, her parents, the actors Maggie Baird and Patrick O'Connell. This is history, and now Eilish is picked the youngest star, and she is a huge hit all over the world. I'm Alexa Henry from Entertainment News. Now let's go over to Rhea for the weather.
Thanks, Alexa. Well, that's officially it for winter, as tomorrow brings the first day of spring, the day we've all been waiting for, getting hit with an average of 23.5 inches of snow this season. That's almost 20 inches more than last winter. After tonight's blustery winds and this week's cloudy skies, we will finally welcome some spring sunshine tomorrow with a high of 54. Sunday will be a bit milder at 58 degrees, and Monday the temperature will continue to rise to 59 as the sun sticks around. Tuesday comes even warmer, and thankfully that sun is here to stay, with the high rounding out to 62. Wednesday looks immaculate for this time of the year, bringing the warmest temperature of the week at 64 and clear sunny skies. It looks like spring after all, Lex. How about it?
You know what? I didn't even know that spring was approaching tomorrow, so that just boosted my spirits. Well, that's all we have for this week's Neumann Update. I'm Alexis Lomax. Hope you tune back in next week.